Hello guys, so I just want to make two short points as an appendix in addition to the video I put up just before this one, very recently, yesterday I think, about the edge and the flat in the act of parrying or defending. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is that there's no need to discuss the use of the edge or the use of the flat or the edge of the flat or whatever you want to specify as an absolute correct or incorrect way of defending, of parrying. Okay? There are, in the historical systems that exist from all over the world, there are many different ways of using a sword to defend yourself. Okay? There are documented actions with the flat. There are documented actions with the front edge, with the back edge, with the end of the blade, with the base of the blade, with the middle of the blade, front and back, and both flats. Okay? So it's really stupid, people who say never do it this way or never do it that way. Because if you look through the surviving and documented fencing systems, with different types of sword from different places all over the world, you'll find basically every option is covered somewhere at some time. Okay? So don't talk in absolutes about don't do this and do only do that, because ultimately there are all different ways of using the sword to defend yourself. Okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is, a very related point, that lots of people on the internet seem to talk about parrying with a sword blade as if it's a great mystery that we have to seek the answer to. Well, firstly, as I've just said, there are many different ways you can use your sword blade to defend yourself, but also it's not a great undocumented mystery. First of all, there are surviving schools of swordsmanship, for example, in Japan, that teach you how to use a sword blade to defend. And you know what? Surprise, surprise, they don't all agree. They have different ways of using the sword blade in defence. Okay, that's the first thing. Secondly, in Europe, we have treatises, written texts from the periods that we're interested in, from the about 1300 AD onwards, all the way through, that tell us absolutely, explicitly, how to use your sword to parry. Okay? Parry, that is to block, to guard, to protect yourself from an incoming blow. And these historical texts, whilst some of them may have some ambiguity and openness to different interpretations, other texts are absolutely explicit. And I know that a lot of you are interested in German longsword, in Lichtenau particularly. And actually, if you look at the Lichtenau lineage, you can find pretty solid examples of the use of the edge in different ways and the use of the flat. And in the Messer treatises, in the Leköckner tradition, for example, of using the Messer, which is a type of falchion, it tells you sometimes specifically which part of your blade to defend with. And it does give you examples which are with the edge and with the flat. However, if we look at the Italian traditions, Fiore is not as clear as later ones, but if you look at Manciolino and Marozzo, for example, and certainly the later rapier treatises, they tell you what to do with your front edge and your back edge and your flat and which part of the blade, the forte, the foible or the medium. So it's not some great mystery that we're seeking the answer to. It's there, written in the texts. Okay? And someone who absolutely makes a statement like only use the flat of your strong, essentially they're lying to you. Because first of all, they're telling you that there is only one way to parry or to defend, which there isn't. There are many different ways. And secondly, they're telling you that a documented historical system tells you to only defend in that way, which it doesn't. Okay, so those two things. There are many ways to use your blade in defence, and the different parts of your blade, including the edge and including the flat, in different ways, against the opponent's edge and against the opponent's flat. And secondly, these things are well documented. It's not a mystery, it's not a Da Vinci Code quest, it's out there in black and white in fencing treatises. Thank you.